Welcome into Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. After the national anthem, Eric Edmondson and Grant Prather will be back with you, giving you the overview and lineups before today's contest versus the Sewanee Tigers. Good afternoon, Lions fans, and welcome back to the Walker Athletic Complex in Demorest, Georgia. Eric Edmondson along with Grant Prather here with you today, where the Lions look to pick up 2 in a row for the first time since the first week of September as we charge into the new month of October. And as of right now, it feels like October. I'm not going to say anything beyond that because there might be a false fall incoming, just like every other week here in Georgia. But a very nice day, some gray clouds polluting the sky, but blue sky right underneath it shining down as we introduce starters. And Grant, you want to take us away for that?
Yeah, so for the Sewanee Tigers, in goal is Nathan Van Hoove. Charlie Williams is out there. David Edge, Tyler Causey, Tyler Scott, Will Hawgood, Alpha Ba, Payne Gridley, Christopher Reeves, Stokes McConnell, and Will Puchik. And then for the Piedmont Lions, Bobby Wood in goal, of course, Andre Grant, Delroy Mattis, Danny Castro, Colin Vogel, Muhammad Al-Sawaidi, Christopher Bellin, Jason Ossine, James Cooper, Christy Piscaro, and Adam Cook.
Yes, and if you have a keen ear at home, you notice the star striker, the star freshman striker, one of the two for the Piedmont Lions, Davis Knight, is resting today. They don't want to risk him possibly getting carded. He's already at 3, so the upcoming match on Tuesday looming more big than the one today. That will be at LaGrange. We all know how good LaGrange is at times. And coming into this matchup, first for the Tigers, they're looking to bounce back after a loss. They're coming in after a 2-1 loss to the Oglethorpe Stormy Petrels. We always say Petrel, but it's Petrel. That one was 2-1, where both teams were just trying to make it through the first half. A lot of onslaught and a lot of shots by both squads, but the Tigers just scored the lone goal in the second half, and Oglethorpe in the final minutes broke their hearts at home. So the Lions today coming in after a W, looking to not reverse the fortunes, but get a new lease on life. It's the conference season. You played a couple games. You played a couple of really good teams as well. Johnson and Wales and Oglethorpe both handed them a loss, but definitely it was the competition they were expecting. We just talked to Coach Jimmy Stevens after that game at Oglethorpe, and he was very confident, even though his team had lost, he was very confident in their showing for that afternoon, that evening, and they feel like they got a lot out of that, and they've gotten some draws and some losses and some low-scoring games, which is very much appreciated. But yesterday, Grant, it was not a low-scoring game.
No, they took over early. 5-2 final score. Offense was clicking. The defense just looked clueless. The Piedmont Lions offense was absolutely beautiful. There was tons of just perfectly executed goals. And they're looking, even with a different starting lineup, looking to continue those same successes.
So just a little bit of changes out there, notably Knight. Adam Cook getting a start for the Piedmont Lions. Pascaru as well. Looks like the same midfield, however. Maybe Cooper tossed in there, it looks like, yeah. So it's Cooper, Ossine, and Osweighty in the middle. Up front is Vogel, Castro, and Pascaru. In the back, it's Grant, Mattis, Wood, and Cook. Along with Christopher Bolen, the Swedish import, Swedish import. Getting his first start at home for this year. Tigers fanning out, donned in all purple. It'll be purple and white on the pitch today, with the orange of the officials wrapped up in the middle of all the action. Kickoff at 11:57. We're 3 minutes early. And if you're on time, you're late. So being more than punctual here today at the WAC, and the Tigers looking to make an early offensive push as they're deep into Lions territory in the corner, and it will be a very early corner kick for Sewanee.
Immediately just off like a rocket. The speed they exhibited on that little stretch just to start the game might scare Piedmont a little bit, but they got to step up their game as well.
We all know the calling card of this Piedmont Lions team is the defense. It has been remarkably sound at times. There's been holes, but they really pride themselves on that aggressiveness. And this one cleared out by Osweighty, shot right back in, and it finds its way halfway up the hill. It'll ricochet off the top of the fence. Bobby Wood will await for it to roll back down to his paws, and he will take it for a goal kick.
And you said the Lions' strength is their defense, and defense makes the best offense as well. Defense wins championships, as they say.
Grant gets it back to Mattis. Mattis, a huge cross. I believe he's trying to find Vogel over there. Vogel gets a head on it. Coming in is Cook. Cook over to Muhammad in center. Cooper. Back to Adam. Adam Cook now having to wrestle with it. Two members of the opposition all over him. That ball will be out and be a throw-in for Sewanee. Adam Cook, very aggressive in that corner, just trying his best to keep it out of there. Crossing the box is going to be no good at this point, and Ossine staying tough on the balance beam there. He's upright, and no whistle on it. And this one's high. It was a good shot by the Tigers, but it sailed just above the crossbar. And even though Bobby Wood's got some height in the net, I'm not sure he was going to be able to reach just up top of there. Might have been able to get a index or middle finger on it, but luckily he didn't really have to. This goal kick is meant to be crossed to Pescaru, but instead it finds two members in purple. The Tigers trying to find their way into the box again. They've had some pretty good offensive chances. 2 shots, one of them better than the other, but shots nonetheless on goal. Castro mixed up with it along with the captain Ossine. Danny Castro takes a tumble there, and a foul will be called on Piedmont. Tyler Kazi on the shot that just missed the crossbar. Resume play here. At the corner of the box. And Bobby Wood makes his first dive on the turf today and goes for a very strong throw to Christy Pescaru. Let's see if he can do some damage. Losing the battle here as it's stolen away by the Tigers. Pescaru watches that one, and that will be an offsides call on Sewanee. It was a good play by Mattis there to let him travel deeper into Lion territory, knowing that that was going to happen. Because we know how Mattis can get those. He's pretty tall. He's got those long strides, but he also can turn on the afterburners. So just a high IQ play there to not allow that to happen. Delroy setting up for it. He's going to find Grant on the other side. Andre will back pass to Mattis. Good job by Mattis to take that one away. Sewanee was on it, but Mattis took it himself. He's still up on the turf, and he still has possession of the ball. Now 3 members of the Tigers enveloping him. Racing on that one is Belen. He wins it away. Deep into the corner, Belen's still on it, and he will concede and give way to Cooper, who's flying in. Outstretching the arms, trying to block any sort of sideline. He's all over the place.
Like
Tigers,
a basketball player.
Yeah. Tigers implementing a lot of just short passes in between each other. This one in the box, and this one finds the net. So an early goal for Sewanee. They've been threatening early for a good bit of this first couple minutes, and that one, it just kind of froze the entire Lions defense.
Yeah, they've immediately taken charge of this game. I don't think we've seen the ball on Sewanee's defensive side, and Bobby Wood's gotten a big change of pace from the game yesterday, where he didn't have too many opportunities to take a save, which he'll take any day. But
just snuck right through the left side. And the Tigers not relenting, looking to take another goal away, and it's a shot that goes high and long. Bobby Woods throwing up the mitt saying, okay, hey, we gotta tighten up here. Grant, we mentioned this just now, but not a lot of offensiveness seen from this Lions squad here. Obviously, you're without Davis Knight, and you're obviously reshuffling some people up the middle and in the back, but with Vogel up there, you know that he's got a good chance, and Castro performed well yesterday as well.
And they just haven't gotten chances because of Sewanee's just offensive attack here, and they even have another chance. But yeah, their offensive attack it's too powerful for the Lions right now. They got to find a way to amp their defense up and get some takeaways to give people like Vogel a chance to get some good opportunities.
And it seems like Vogel and Castro are kind of being neglected up there, I should say, as the Tigers are really just content with these short passes in between each other. They're very clustered together, and much like what the Lions do, they suffocate the ball whenever it goes into the other team's possession. In this case, Piedmont's. Good job by Grant to at least get a touch on that one, but it might have opened an avenue for the Tigers. Now Mattis has to play keep away here, and a very wide and ill-timed shot by Sewanee will lead to a goal kick. Might have gotten a little too excited there. Mattis was approaching the kicker, and he decided to let one loose, and it was well wide of the goal. So Bobby Wood takes a little bit of time before delivering this punt. Leaping into the air, trying to get ahead on that one. It looked like Asin. Now Muhammad Al-Saidi up the middle. Gets it to Jason. Jason going to Pascaru. Pascaru's in the box, and he goes for a kick, and it's saved by Nathan Van Hoove. A great attack there and a great shot, really, by Pascaru. Just Van Hoove threw up the mitt and blocked it before it could sneak its way past the post. It will be a corner kick for Piedmont, however. Piedmont looking to even it up after letting loose the early goal. Good cross. It might be a little long, though. Mattis gets ahead on it. Grant's in the middle of everything, trying to score it through. Asin, a huge boot, and it's blocked by Sewanee. It looks like whoever braced the brunt of that is really feeling it.
Look like they're playing a little bit of pinball there. Tough stretch for Sewanee on defense. That'll hurt him tomorrow.
Christopher Rives took the full force of that Asin blast from outside the box, and he's going to be paying for it for a few minutes, it looks like. It'll be another cross, however. Pascaru raises the hand, goes for it. It's a little low, and it'll be immediately ricocheted out of the box. Calling for it on the left side is Asin. It's long. Mattis gets ahead on it, and unfortunately for the Lions, is unable to keep it in play.
And you mentioned it earlier, Mattis has a little bit of height on him. It gives him a little bit of an advantage in those type of header battle situations, and good chance there just not to be.
Yeah, Mattis has been known to do that multiple times, and I think Christopher Rives he's down on the turf. I'm not sure where that ball hit him, but I think he keeps going back to his face, so he might have maybe a nosebleed or something or the other. Reeves, excuse me, as he will be escorted off the pitch, at least for now. Again, did not see where that ball hit him. He doesn't seem to be just, writhing in pain. He's jogging it off. I think he does maybe just have a bloodied nose. And if it did hit him square in the face, let's hope it's not a broken nose. Looks like it's going to be another corner for Piedmont. They're going to look to shoot it low, and it scopes the ground and finds its way back to midfield where Al-Saidi waits. Asin racing, trying to capitalize upon that one, but unfortunately Van Hoove coming out of the net to make the grab. Van Hoove wearing some light shades of blue for the Tigers, and his counterpart on the other end wearing that trademark bright highlighter Bobby Wood yellow. Pascaru at midfield. Asin now over to Christie. Back to Grant. Grant looks like he was lined up for something big, maybe trying to deke the defense. Castro braves a couple of tough tackles. Now he's pushing for the net. Pascaru has to handle that interception. Grant back to Mattis. Mattis kicks one to the defense, who's now quickly turning it into the offense for the Tigers, and the Lions have to respond quickly here. They're swarming the box. They're trying to clear it, and they do momentarily. Big boot by Grant, but it's deflected off a shin guard of Sewanee. Al-Saidi. Cooper. Asin now back in it. Tiger leaks through the defense. They're just passing between each other, these short little passes, just trying to open something up. Maybe trying to get a little bit of an overcommitment by the Tigers defense. They find something up the middle. It's a shot, and it hits the back of the net. Once again, the Lions defense absolutely iced.
Not much Bobby Wood could do there. It's a tough shot to see with all the bodies in front of him. And once again, just a major defensive lapse by the Lions. They look a little bit off today.
It was a very tough and hot contest yesterday here on the turf, but with some guys getting some starting time, you would think that a lot of them might be rejuvenated or just looking to stay hungry and get the start. But obviously here, down big, when you think about the minutes and you think about what's left to play here, it's 2-0. We haven't gotten halfway through the first half. Belen trying to get it to Vogel, but it's way out.
And also having a different starting lineup can throw off your chemistry a little bit. It throws off your communication because you're not used to starting with those guys every game. So this game is able to be turned around. You just got to get in the flow of the game. Piedmont was looking a bit comfortable probably about 2 or 3 minutes ago, but just a tough run by Sewanee.
Definitely. And Austin was a big proponent of that. He was coming out of the midfield mark a little bit more than he's used to, especially with the key starters in. He was coming out of the midfield and really motioning for the net, working with Castro, Vogel, and Pescaru, almost like a four-man front. But now, pushing back a little bit to midfield as Cooper tries to go up for a header. He gets a touch on it. He's trying to get it to Cook, but Sewanee steals it away, and they're just unrelenting. They want this third goal as they are still playing the Lions tough. Vogel. Still wrestling for this one, trying to win it away. Referee's going to let him play through. Like that decision.
It's one of the few times Colin Vogel has touched the ball today. He's been a bit under the radar so far, you could say.
Sewanee trying to find that ball at midfield line. Grant to midfield once more. Sewanee trying to win that ball away, but the Tigers steal it once more. Long cross attempt to the right side of the box, and the Tigers will receive it, but he's got two Lions on him. He's looking to break through the defense. He faces a really tough tackle from Sewanee, and he comes up clean and clears the ball. Really good job by Muhammad there to get into the box and know that he can make that tough tackle. But Mattis now, a great tackle. But I think the referee's holding up the hand. He got the boot on the ball, but I think they're going to call a foul here.
Interesting call from our vantage point. It looks like he started sliding before that Sewanee attacker began to even go for the ball.
It won't be a call. The referee, I guess, was just giving Mattis a warning, perhaps.
It was pretty aggressive.
Mattis, that's what his brand of defense is. He is going to pounce on that ball. He's going to get it away from the defense and ask questions later. Castro trying to leap up in the air. Didn't get enough verticality on that one, but fortunately it looked like the Lions are going to be able to get on that one. Got to steal this ball away, though. Something from Sewanee that I'm not sure the Lions were really prepared for was the Tigers had demonstrated some very good ball-stealing skills. They have been able to strike possession away and just keep it away from the Lions, and at this point with them being up 2-0, really that's all they have to do for the rest of the match if they would want to, is just play keep away. Vogel trying to get it to back of the net, but he plays it off the hip, stumbles over the ball a little bit there. A good tackle by Sewanee. It was received by him from Castro. Hassan. It's a boot on it. Castro coming in, trying to get a touch, but it's back to midfield where the Tigers look to make a push. This one right at the crest of midfield. Sewanee just having these passes. This one will find the boot of Belen. Sewanee in the box, and it gets past Bobby Wood once more for a third goal. An offensive explosion for the Tigers here, and the Lions defense scratching their heads, just wondering what is going wrong.
Tigers taking no prisoners here. They're just relentless in their attack. It just does not stop, and they're just controlling the time of possessions here as well.
Bobby Wood just now getting up from a squat as he was reflecting on the previous play and how it came to be in the goalie box. And at this point, you can only hope that the Lions can show some signs of life on offense as the Tigers are still maneuvering for an offensive push. And a good job by Boleyn and Bobby Wood to disrupt that. But that just got right past the the Lion defense. And 3 goals in the back of the net with 30 minutes left in the first half. It's a corner for the Tigers. It's a low cross, and Bobby Wood makes his first save of the day. Ball was right in front of him. He was able to throw up the mitts and collect it right into his chest. Mattis launches that one out. It'll be a goal kick. And Grant, watching this game right now and watching the game yesterday, what are we not seeing from the Lions?
Not seeing any offensive attack or really any defense at the same time. It looks like the complete reverse of yesterday, actually.
And now, sorry to interrupt you, Grant, but 5 substitutions appear to be getting loose on the sideline. This is not what Coach Stevens wanted to do today. He wanted to rest some of his guys before the upcoming match at LaGrange, but you got to stop the bleeding at some point. And right now, this specific rotation of the Lions defense is not getting it done. So it looks like at least 3 are going to come in. Jacome also getting loose on the sideline, it appears. And more substitutions might be on the way.
And as a player, when you start to see that many substitutions getting ready to come in the game, that makes you question your own ability, because you know that Coach does not he does not really like how the game has been going. So it's just a tough break for the Lions so far. Just relentless offense by Sewanee.
Tigers throwing up the hands, trying to plead their case to the official for maybe a handball call. It'll be put out and a throw in for the Tigers. So it will be just 3 substitutions for right now. Another throw in for Sewanee. This one launched to the back end of the box, and Bobby Wood collects it off a header. Wood surveying all that's laid out in front of him. He's going to try to find Christy Piscaru, and Sewanee gets a header on it, and they'll let it roll out. On the midfield line. In the game now, Nico Eberhardt. Mattis comes out along with Al Suwaidi. Asin watches that one fly over his head. Cash in for Mattis. So he takes over in the backside. Grant's going to move over to the left side. It looks like Boleyn is out and Jackson Shirley now in the game. Trying to see who Eberhardt subbed in for. He's in for Adam Cook. So the shuffle is here. Or no, Boleyn's still in. Shirley comes in for Al Suwaidi. Cash in for Mattis and Eberhardt for Cook. So the shuffle is Grant moves to the left side of the pitch. Eberhardt takes his place now on the right side. Cash and Shirley are inserted into the defense, and this is a clear reaction to the 3 goals within the first 15 minutes for the Tigers, as putting in a much tougher defensive group is what Coach Jimmy Stevens is doing here. The only remaining defensive starter being Belen. Castro now getting it. Tried to find Vogel, but he wheeled around directly into the Tiger defense. Long throw in. Colin tried to crane the neck to get a touch and put it to the turf. But unfortunately, it'll roll all the way to Van Hoove, the goalkeeper, whose name we have not said a lot today.
Piedmont not able to formulate too much offense today, so Van Hoove's had a bit of a rest these first 20 minutes or so.
I'm sure he's enjoying it. It's a breezy day. Nice shade being provided by the cloud coverage.
Much different story from yesterday. That sun was beaten down, especially on Piedmont's bench as well.
Most definitely. Now, the Tigers pushing for the corner. On this one is Belen, and he executes a good tackle and steals it away. He's trying to find Colin Vogel. Vogel near the line, trying to stray straight up and keep it in, and he will. Grant tries to kick it back to Vogel, but it ricochets off the Tigers. And now Belen taking it for himself, trying to drive as far as he can. He's going to boot it. Racing for it is Castro, trying to win the foot race. He looks like he's going to tie it. It's all about winning this ball away. It's going to spin towards the line, trying to find Colin Vogel, and it is eventually cleared out by Sewanee. Grant is pushing back onto this. This will find the midfield line where the Tigers await, and it looks like we're going to return to the status quo. A very promising push there by the Lions, just unable to find the missing piece to find the pass, or rather maybe there was the missing piece, but something got thrown into the gears.
It was all started by Christopher Belen. He's a very fundamental player. He's been taking advantage of the opportunities he's been given.
Shirley racing on this one. Now Eberhardt's going to be tasked with the ball. On the right side, Cash is also there, and putting up the palms and deflecting it is Bobby Wood. It'll be a corner kick for Sewanee.
Looks like Bobby Wood's starting to become a bit more comfortable with his game so far, as we're about halfway through this first half.
Yeah, the first couple minutes, Bobby definitely was... don't want to say spectator, but he was very much surveying the area and surveying the offense for the Tigers, not laying out for a lot of stuff, not getting the best reads off the ball, and that's to be expected. It's the first opening minutes of a match. A little bit of juggling from who gets this one, as that one escapes the inner quadrant of the first half, or excuse me, the first part of the box. You get what I'm saying. Bobby Wood watches that one bounce off the brick wall behind, and I think, okay, yes, it looked like maybe the Tigers are setting up for a set piece, but that didn't make any sense. Asin's going to come out. Ricardo Ruiz is in the game. Belen receives the goal kick and finds Jackson Shirley, who tries to get it to Cooper, but it gets past him, and now the Tigers have the ball once more. Ruiz and Shirley. Ruiz got his first goal yesterday, and now Colin Vogel, he has to race to get it before Van Hoove does that.
Had an opportunity to maybe slide and get a bit of a 50-50 ball, but didn't want to lay out this early in the game.
Yeah, with no one there to back him up, I know Vogel was kind of betting on himself there. Castro able to win that one. It'll get put back to midfield, where awaiting is Jackson Shirley, and now the Tigers complete the pass work to bring it back into their possession. This into the box, and Eberhardt able to make sure that it didn't go into the net. He was really good coverage there. Bobby Wood's going to get another chance here. Looks like another substitution. It looks like Cooper is out, and I believe, trying to get an eye on that number, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, it's Josiah Tillett. Tigers making their way Down the left side of the pitch, it is Josiah Tillett. Now they're in the midfield, and Eberhardt able to steal that ball away. Great job by Nico. Looks like the Tigers were really going to try to set up for a middle goal. Bobby Wood was lined up directly for it, but obviously when you start at that point of the box, it can go 50-50. Austin Miller comes in for Will Hawgood, and Connor Chanette in for Tyler Kazi for Sewanee. Receiving this one is Van Hoove. Pescaro and Castro trying to advance upon that ball. Now Josiah Tillett on the right side. Vogel takes a tough hit there. No whistle as he's able to scramble back to his feet, or rather just stay upright. Ruiz. Now Tillett. Tillett able to get a touch on that one and get a pass. Now Josiah pushing his way up the middle. Gets a touch on it, but it'll be ricocheted, and the ball will find its way into the box into the hands of Van Hoove.
Piedmont starting to get a couple more offensive opportunities than earlier in this half, but still not able to capitalize on them.
Coach Stevens wanting to stay away from his key guys. He's had to put in a couple of key guys on defense, but the majority of your regulars still resting on the bench, and now having to go upon that one. Good job by Cash to kind of run the defense on it and force Bobby Wood to come out of the net there. Eberhardt, a long boot, trying to find Castro, and it'll find Van Hoove instead. So the Lions have been getting a lot more chances on the other side of the field, but it has been from long passes. Passes that have an outside chance of getting hit by other Lions, but more often than not, just find their way into the midst of Van Hoove.
They haven't been able to make a lot of short connecting passes like Sewanee has actually been able to do. So they're looking to do that in the future. Just been a tough offensive showing so far.
Yeah, this offense, the Tiger offense, from what we've seen, they really like to cross, and they like to go diagonal with a lot of their attacks. And when it just isn't working for them and they're being shut down, especially on the long pass like they are today, it's hard to find daylight. That gets past Grant. And now the Tigers pressing deep into Lion territory. Cash throws up the foot trying to block it. Maybe he did disrupt the sight line momentarily as Grant's able to get it back to Vogel. See what his speed can do on this drive. Vogel, he's got a couple of pieces with him, but Colin trying to push his way further, and no call there. Clean tackle by the defense.
Almost able to do it solo. Took a 1v4 and just not to be. Tough tackle by Sewanee.
Castro. Vogel. And Tillett now measuring. It looks like a couple of substitutions will be in the making for Piedmont. Running on that one is Castro. Castro trying to take it away, but a slick move on the feetwork by the defense will keep it in their possession. Only momentarily, though, is Nico Eberhardt trying to steal this ball away, and a foul will get called on Sewanee. Referee been very hands-off. And Cash kind of is saying, okay, look, let me go and kick this. And referee stopping him. Cash a little frustrated with that one. But First set piece of the day. Let's see what the Lions can do with it. It's a little bit low here. It bounces over the defensive heads of Sewanee. Ball's still in the air. Still able to make a play on this one. Shirley leaps up into the air. Ruiz watches that one over. Shirley trying to do it once more. And now the Sewanee Tigers trying to get this ball over the midline. It'll be by the Lions' own volition that it does. Boleyn, a good boot, trying to find Vogel. He connects with him. Vogel trying to get a softer touch on that one to keep it in front of him. Now running down the line, it looks like Grant. Grant wrestling for it, trying to get away. He's got two members of the opposition against him. Grant will back pass to Colin Vogel, and now with some offensive members on this side, the Lions looking to make some magic. And it'll be effectively cleared by the Tigers, and now they look to begin their own offensive push. The defensive cast of the Lions has to quickly maneuver to the backstop, and just not the best shot there by Sewanee as Bobby Wood was directly in front of it. Rather easy shot to gather there. Eberhardt able to cross it, but it looks like it's going to find Van Hoove once more. So a really good set of just passes and trapping there by the Lions. It looks like they're slowly piecing it together, but the Tigers still have the upper hand on them, of course, and it's going to take a Herculean effort by the Lions today to come back from this 3-0 deficit, especially with how tough the Tigers' defense has played them to this point. Colin Vogel, the recipient of this pass, gets a softer touch on it, frustrated himself on that one. That was not what he was trying to do. He got it on the inside or the backside part of his foot, and I believe he was just trying to stop it directly in front of him. And hands on the knees immediately. Cash now gets on top of it. And back to Bobby Wood, back to Cash. Cash looking for Pascaru. Pascaru able to get ahead on it. And now it's in the middle, and Josiah Tillett has a chance. Tillett, a long pass, and it's going to be just a few feet short of reaching Colin Vogel. Vogel gets the pass from Grant, however. Tillett using that size to dominate that one-on-one. Now Grant on the right side trying to keep it in. He's going to cut up the defense a little bit here. He's going to have to do some work. Grant inside of Vogel. Vogel looking for somebody over there. He's on the line. He gets pushed out, and I believe it's going to be a goal kick, because that's what the referee was motioning. And no, it will be a Piedmont corner kick. So we're going to have some substitutions here. Tell you all about them once they come across our screen.
First real opportunity for Piedmont with this corner kick, too. They haven't had a lot of time to set up their offense so far.
Does appear to be Keegan Fabian perhaps taking this corner kick. It's very high and leaping into the air, trying to get a touch on it, and it rolls past Van Hoove and gets into the net. Directly entered into the game. Brady Puckett makes some magic, and it's 3-1.
How about that? Making your mark on the game as soon as you come in.
An immediate replacement, and he gets the job done. And that was two replacements working in tandem with each other.
Could be the spark that Piedmont needs. As time ticking down, we got about 12 minutes left, about the average length of a Pink Floyd song left.
It was Keegan Fabian on the corner kick, and Puckett able to jump up and touch it with the top of his head, and it eventually snuck its way past Van Hoove, who maybe was getting a touch complacent with his team up 3-1, or excuse me, 3-0. Now it's 3-1. So the Lions, obviously, there's a lot of minutes left to be played in this game, but they've been putting the pieces together offensively on the other side. And I wonder if when they come back from halftime, maybe you might see some of the key starters starting once more with Vogel up top. But you can't complain with the results, as Puckett and Fabian right there were able to piece it together.
Yeah, those first 10 minutes or so just didn't. Oh, here we go.
And a tough tackle there, and a whistle. An excellent job by Ricardo Ruiz to push his way into the box. And now the Lions, an excellent opportunity with a PK.
An immediate turnaround. Van Hoove is not happy currently.
No. Perhaps that can play on the psyche a little here. The Lions, this is their golden opportunity to get back into this one, to make it a 1-goal deficit. They're still down 2. 3-2 at half sounds better than 3-1. Taking the boot is Cash. Cash finds the back of the net. James Cash making the money out there. 3-2.
That was all in the span of about 1 minute, 60 seconds. Right back in this game are the Lions.
An incredible turnaround. The entire bench throwing up the fingers. Rubbing them together. That means money, baby. Eberhardt having a watch that one sail right over his head.
Seems like the atmosphere has changed since that.
There is new life on that bench, and now it looks like Philip Nowak is getting ready to come in. Still got some work to do, especially on the defensive end. Can't get complacent. Justin Gersh for 2-0 in the game. He's taking over on the right side. Josiah Tillett looking to win this one away. Good job by Jackson Shirley to slide down. And now Bobby Wood's going to call for it. Grant, good job to sidestep that ball and just let the goalkeeper handle his business. Trying to find someone. He's just going to take it to the ground, and it'll be a short chip pass to Josiah, who gets a touch to Ruiz. Back to Josiah, but unfortunately a header by the Tigers. And a foul there as Tillett went in a little bit too aggressively.
Yeah, those first 10 minutes of this game, Piedmont looked lackadaisical, maybe like they didn't get enough sleep last night. And then it was a little bit of a slow crescendo up to those 2 goals, and bam, right back in it.
Certainly very lucky on that call against the Tigers for that PK setup. I think you have to attribute that a little bit. But also just Ruiz being so aggressive in that one. That's what led to that one. And Eberhardt, a tough tackle there. Sewanee raising their hands, trying to plead a foul, but it's not to be. And more wrestling in the corner. It's going to roll out, and I believe it'll be a throw-in for the Lions.
You mentioned aggressiveness. That's one thing. When the Lions were down, they weren't being aggressive. Sewanee always seemed to be one step ahead and just able to get passes to snatch them away, but able to reverse it.
Exactly right. Grant and Andre Grant is going to come out here, and I believe it's Philip Nowak filling his spot. It's Cash's first goal of the year for him. Puckett, that was his second. Eberhardt as well as Vertulo watching it. Fabian maneuvering. So is Puckett. Puckett takes a couple of aggressive steps forward, which forces a pass. Now Keegan trying to stay on top of it. And a good job by, I believe that is Shirley. Couldn't see the number to get it clear on that one. Just slow the momentum. Puckett on that one. Eberhardt now having to play some aggressive defense.
About 8 minutes left in this first half. Piedmont only down 1 now. Looking to maybe tie it up going into halftime.
They certainly have an opportunity, and you'd be hard-pressed to say that they did just a couple minutes ago. Tigers looking to find their way into the box, and Bobby Wood is going to lay out for it. I don't think he got a touch on it, though. So good job by him to pull back the hand and just secure a goal kick. That was well wide of the post. Bobby Wood. Long cross. Keegan Fabian trying to position himself in a way that he can get this, but I believe it's going to be a throw-in for the Tigers, and will be. Nowak Over to Puckett. Puckett tried to put a boot on that one, but unfortunately it is going to be a defiant cross and a defiant clear by the Tigers, and essentially rolls directly into the hands of Bobby Wood. This is over to Eberhardt. Nico trying to win it away. Still in a tangle, and he's going to get some assistance from Ruiz, but an aggressive shove puts the Sewanee Tiger to the turf. Throw in. Cash. Winning it away here. And he's going to find Eberhardt. Eberhardt towards the middle. Puckett trying to crash upon that one, but a lower head will put it towards the middle once more. But Josiah Tillett able to receive the touch from Ruiz. And now Keegan Fabian trying to get it back, and it's going to be a throw-in for Piedmont.
Another opportunity to set up a good offensive attack on Piedmont's side. Again, looking to tie it up.
Fabian steals the ball away. Now he's trying to cut through the defense. He gets another touch. The Tigers still trying to maneuver, and Van Hoove reached down for it, but they cleared instead. Lucky he didn't get a hand on that one, or so he might be looking at a broken one.
Van Hoove threw his hands up. He was a bit surprised at the miscommunication with his defender.
And he's better off not touching that one. He would have maybe had a sore hand in the morning.
Little boot to the fingers.
Yeah, that does not feel good.
That's never fun.
Will be another throw in for Piedmont. Keegan Fabian looks like he was the intended recipient of it, and we'll have another whistle. I believe they motion maybe handball, and it will be Nowak taking it once more.
Final 5 minutes or so left in this first half.
It'll be a long set piece. It looks like it's Cash back to boot it. All the Lions setting up in the box is going to fall just short of it. And Keegan Fabian has to play it off the hip. Cash is going to fall back in. Another boot into the box, and this one's going to be headed out by the Tigers. Jackson Shirley trying to get ahead on that. So is Nowak, and now Eberhardt racing on it, trying to make sure it doesn't get past the line. And that'll deflect directly off Sewanee, and it'll be a throw-in. Shirley. And he's going to be taken down, and a foul will go the Lions' way. Good sportsmanship shown by both of the participants in that tackle. And a yellow card was just delivered. I believe that was to Ethan Lewis, who just got into the game. So that's a rude welcome. Ricardo Ruiz setting up. It's long. Van Hoove leaps in the air, and he comes down with it. Okay, you just got to tip the hat on that one. That was a good catch.
Looked like a basketball player jumping up for a rebound there.
Fabian. Coach for Sewanee throwing up the hands there. And a good job by Nowak to dice him up. Now it's up to the Lions to keep the ball in their possession. Van Hoove comes out of the net here. Brady Puckett trying to push onto that one. They'll roll out. I believe it's going to be a throw-in for Piedmont once more. Long throw-in, trying to find Puckett. He's going to find two heads of the Tigers instead, and it'll roll out. And it's going to be a goalie kick. So somewhere along the way, a Tiger let the Lion touch it. Coming out now is Vertulo, I believe, that's Belen coming out. And now in the game, it looks like Nathan Jacome.
Honorable exit for Belen. He played very well, taking advantage of his opportunities this first half.
Vertulo on the side gets put on skates for a moment, but he's back up. Not sure what the whistle's for. He's calling Eberhardt over I think that they're going to... Well, he's having a conversation with Nico. And him and the referee seem to be on good terms now. Referee's saying, hang on, I got to get in my spot. Now y'all can do it.
Look to be all smiles in that interaction. It's always good to see.
I think Eberhardt is very honest, and just when he knows he's made a mistake on the pitch, he's very apologetic towards the referee because accidents happen. You get tangled up sometimes. It does. And Nico maybe just smooth talking his way, trying to avoid any sort of trouble with the referee because he does get aggressive on the defensive end.
Getting close to 2 minutes here, final stretch of this half. Piedmont's had their chances to tie it up, just unable to capitalize yet.
Not just yet, but they've shown such fight coming back out, and after scoring those 2 goals, Sewanee hasn't really had an offensive push. And granted, they have subbed out a lot of their guys as well, just as the Lions have, but the Lions, who started the game with a good bit of their offensive starters, had to wait until they subbed in their bench guys to start doing work in the box. Just goes to show how deep this bench can get for Piedmont. Puckett and Fabian both trying to steal that ball away. Puckett coming out of that engagement a little bit hurt there as he's taking a crouch. Thinks something ailed him. Might have gotten a shot below the belt is what he's kind of indicating. Jacome.
First action he's seen today.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar face, offensive and defensive threat.
And it seems like every set piece he's in the middle of it, and every tough defensive play he's also the star.
He's everywhere. Right on cue.
1 minute remaining in the first half for Carter Ruiz taking this one. He'll back pass to Bobby Wood, who looks to reset the field. Wood, huge boot. He's searching for Puckett. He'll find the inside part of the boot for the Tigers, though. It will bounce out, and it looks like that Nowak's going to be the person to throw this one in. Nowak once more. We'll throw it in once more. Final seconds here. And Grant, just what did we see from the Lions that when they came back?
When they came back, you just saw communication step up. The players just looked faster. They looked like they wanted the game more. They wanted to make a run to try to get close to tying this and give themselves some confidence to go into the second half.
That will effectively end the first half attack for both squads. So your score at halftime, it did not look like it would be a game, honestly, but just a 1-goal deficit separating the two. The Tigers scored all 3 in the first 15 and were silent for the rest as the Lions came roaring back.
See what you did there.
So we'll take a break, let both teams talk out the strategy. We'll talk up our strategy up here in the box as well. You're listening to Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Once again, your final score going into halftime, 3-2, Tigers up by 1. Welcome back to Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Eric Evanson along with Grant Prather looking for a comeback victory for the ages. The Lions were down 3-0 within the first 15 minutes of this contest, but have scored 2 unanswered goals, one by Brady Puckett and another one off a PK by James Cash that was drawn by Ricardo Ruiz. So, Grant, what are we looking forward to coming out of the break?
I'm looking forward to some more aggression from Piedmont. It looked like those first 15 minutes, like the lights were off. Actually, the power was out. The lights were off, then it started to flicker a little bit when that first goal came on, and then immediately they were as bright as could be after you hit that PK. That was just such a burst of energy.
That PK just reinvigorated the entire bench, too. They had everybody doing the Cash celebration. So coming out of the break, it's going to be Sewanee, looks like Grant, or that's Mattis, and Belen and Nowak in the back. Josiah Tillett Castro along with Ruiz. And new entrant into the game is Sebastian Rojas. Now Rojas getting thrust into action here. He's deep in the corner, goes for a cross, and I think it found its way up the hill, and it did. Castro also in the game. So the front side of the offense, it is Ruiz, Castro, Rojas. And in the back, it's Eberhardt, Nowak, and also 80. Mattis also up there, and Belen as well. The cross is maybe a little bit overcooked, as it'll bounce all the way to the back half and be a throw-in for the Tigers. But looking at our staffs at halftime, Sewanee with 14 shots, opposed to the 4 shots by Piedmont. And goodness, Grant, that was it is certainly swinging the pendulum is swinging defiantly in one direction, but just overall, that turnaround from the 14 shots, that I would assume those are weighted towards the beginning. And like you said, the lights came on. What do you think changed on the defensive end?
I think they started being more aggressive. As I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, Sewanee was just a step ahead of the Lions. Like, it seemed like every pass they were stealing away, and the Lions started to pick up their speed a little bit once they got more comfortable. And that really assisted them in giving them better offensive opportunities.
Sewanee. Nowak. Rojas now. Maneuvering onto it. This one deep into the pocket and having a wrestle for it here is Belen. It'll roll out. And it looks like Bobby Woods getting a break on the bench. That's Colin Sheeler in the net.
Bobby Wood had a shaky first couple of minutes, then able to get a couple good saves under his belt.
Sheeler doesn't often get the playing time, so getting him in here and getting the fresh legs underneath him certainly helps the Lions. That one skied over the net.
Sheeler also given the opportunity to shine a little bit, maybe leave a good impression. He's also in that highlighter signature yellow.
That he is. The Tigers will opt for a short pass here, and the Lions defense smothers and covers that ball. And a handball called right in, and now Sewanee up in arms. This is over Sheeler, and the Tigers are pleading their case. It seems like everybody on their end, including the bench and the spectators, saw a handball. Referee still contesting that no, was not. But the official's word is final.
That it is.
Sewanee trying to use the head like a battering ram towards the ball. And now it's going deep into the box where Colin Sheeler awaits.
That's a good touch for Sheeler to get himself started in the second half.
That ball was directly towards Castro, but the Tigers flew in and put a head on it. Going for the short pass here, but it's going to be deflected and it'll roll out.
Looks like Sewanee's starting in a very similar way they did the first half. They're coming out on the offensive end. Once again, we're not seeing Piedmont on the offensive end too much. Sewanee taking charge, putting some pressure on Colin Sheeler. coming into
exactly right there, Grant. And I would wager that these are the majority of their starters as they're looking to hit the reset button here beginning the second half. Sheeler's going to be put to the test here. Crosses low, and Sheeler deflects it, and I believe it found the back end of the net. It did. It found the right side. Sheeler got a touch on it, but it wasn't enough to clear the ball, and it's 4-2. So just like how the Tigers started the first half, they come out swinging in the second and land the first blow.
Now, it was a well-placed pass, well-made shot, not much Colin Sheeler could do. Got a hand on it, but just that was so perfectly placed in the right side of that net.
Nowak receives this one, and now Rojas to Tillett, back to Nowak. Nowak has to wrestle for this one. He's going to find Sewanee. Eberhardt. Tough tackle there. And I think Nico got hit somewhere on the right leg, and he's having to take a moment here. But no moment of rest for the rest of the Lions here, as Colin Sheeler's going to be put to the test again. He deflects it off the right hand, it looked like. Back inside, and it'll spin just right of the post. Sheeler running the fingers through the hair, perhaps in relief there for a moment. There is a lot of close calls. It'll be a corner kick once more, and Sheeler will definitely have to use the mistakes of what happened last time to wisen up here for this next attack.
Sheeler's getting thrown to the wolves here. Sewanee's had a lot of opportunities early on.
Lining up for a long corner, and it goes a little bit low. Not sure if that was the intent behind that. And Sheeler lays out to make that one, and he'll collect it. We'll see how he plays this as his team fans out in front of him.
Nice little vote of confidence for Sheeler. Even though that wasn't probably going to go in the net, that's a good way to get your hands on the ball and kind of see it into your hands.
Tillett to Ruiz. Ruiz is going to try to find his wingman out there on the left side. No call by the referee. Ruiz trying to find a way through the middle. Now Sewanee over to Rojas. Rojas takes a shot and it's going to go right onto the Tigers defense. Nowak plays the tough bounce, and it'll be cleared. Boleyn's going to come in. Swiss import putting a touch on that one. Mattis, tough tackle, comes up clean. Using those long legs to his advantage there. Rojas trying to get a touch on that one. He gets in front of him. The flag is up, and I believe that's going to be offsides on the Lions, and questionable at the least. Referee and Rojas just said, okay, come on. There was obviously one guy in front of me.
For a second there, I thought it was that trip up he had, but I guess not.
I'm not sure.
Interesting call for sure.
I believe, it is going to be... No stats coming through yet. It was the flag raised. It wasn't the referee in the middle, so you can only anticipate that it's a offsides call. Sheeler, once again, is going to have to be put to the brink, and Boleyn, good job to pick up his goalkeeper as he'll just pop it out momentarily. Still some work to do. Josiah Tillett plays it off the back. Eberhardt looking to wrestle this one free. Man, Nico is not afraid to just get really low. He's short in stature, which allows him to have a really low center of gravity. And when he gets into that crouch and he gets into these mix-ups, he's going to maybe take it to the ground, but he's always going to disrupt whoever he's attacking. Such an interesting defender and such an interesting approach.
And the Lions also have the same thing on the offensive end with Sebastian Rojas. He's a very, very physical player for his size as well.
Rojas measuring. That goes over the outstretched boot of a Tiger and into the possession of Belen. Nowak to Ruiz. Some fancy footwork to turn it around. Now Sewanee, he's going to have to press through a couple defenders. This is intended for Rojas. It's going to be played off the head, though, and sent out of bounds. Weak throw in there for Muhammad. He was just trying to get it to Ricardo. Or rather, that's Castro. Sheeler trying to put one right up the middle. It's going to be intercepted by the Tigers.
First 10 minutes or so gone by in the second half, and Sewanee's doing pretty much the same thing they did at the start of the first half. They're attacking in the offensive end, not giving the Lions too many opportunities, clogging up the middle when the Lions do have the ball on offense, and also, like we just saw there, being pretty physical.
Good work by Madison. To your point, Grant, it seems like they are doing just that. They're not easing up on the offense. They're pressing through and just trying to put something in the back of the net to grow the lead, but thus all that trying, the Lions defense is holding pretty strong. Of course, the one goal comes in. You can put that against the case, but with the way they've performed and just able to adapt to compared to the 3 goals that come in the first half. Just the one coming across here, and you're still well within this, but it is going to take some work. Sheeler's going to get this one. He'll just collect that one, wrap it up in his arms.
Yeah, I think those first 3 goals are kind of lit a match for the defensive fire the Lions have had so far since those first 3 goals.
Up the middle, and Castro tried to get it to Rojas. Rojas was unable to handle the tough pass. Castro. Now Rojas. Rojas trying to find a way through, and Castro will take a fall to the ground there as the defense trips him up momentarily. It's not the same cast of members out for the second half that ended the first half that got those 2 goals, mainly being Keegan Fabian and Brady Puckett. They're starting on the bench with Pescaru and Castro and Ruiz and Rojas taking their place. So, well, mainly Rojas and Pescaru. So, Grant, just what do you think might be the strategy here? Obviously, you're just trying to get some guys some playing time in a match like this, but those 2 members were perhaps instrumental in getting those first couple goals for Piedmont out of the way.
Yeah, you mentioned getting other people playing time. It's to a T, because you got to have your best players and the hottest players at game time in the game, and you got to be unrelenting. If you're down 4-2, you got to be able to know and be confident in your guys that you can score and get back in this game.
Still a very open window. It looks like Colin Vogel actually is getting loose. We all know how big of a component he is for the offense, so maybe looking for a little bit of a spark plug, a match, any sort of fire to get under this offense. Not that they've been playing flat, but just unable to really break through, I'll put it that way.
And they definitely played well for those 2 minutes or so where they had those 2 goals, as here's a chance by Sewanee.
Mattis all over this ball. He's going to win it away momentarily. Eberhard also on it, tripped up in the box, and Nico tries to go for a clear. It'll ricochet off a Tiger and be a goal kick.
Sheeler's got to be thankful for his defense there, as Sewanee nearly broke through the defense and got a good shot on goal, but well played by the Lions defensively.
In this situation, Sheeler does not get a lot of playing time, so he's maybe not caught up to the game pace per usual as Bobby Wood would be. So having the tough defense there with him certainly helps his case as he tries to get his legs underneath him. Nowak, tough tackle, wins it away, trips over himself here momentarily, and 2 members of the Tigers' opposition crash down upon him. It'll be a throw-in for the Lions. Looks like 4 substitutions for Piedmont getting ready to go here. Sewanee trying to find a long cross to Pescaru. Pescaru, a shot, and that is going to find its way up to the Mize concourse. That one's bouncing all the way, and it might be trying to get to Purcell Hall. Ricochets off the equipment shed up there. Oh, my goodness.
That was a fun little run. That was exciting to watch.
Yeah, Pescaru was maybe trying to cause some property damage with that boot.
Pescara did have a good chance though to answer.
It was just a little bit too much of a launch angle on that one, as it was skied rather than booted.
A little bit too much mustard.
Now Pescaru trying once more, but this one's going to be put out towards the corner by the Tiger defense. It'll be a throw-in. And think that Tigers calling for perhaps an injury replacement. Not sure what exactly happened.
Eric, how long do you think it has been since we've seen a ball that close to the Mize?
It's been a couple of games, probably about a week. You know, we've seen a couple hit the top half part of the black fence, but I think we've had maybe one leak through. Nowak over to Rojas. Rojas finds Sewanee. Nowak again, and that will be called out. So it did look like we were going to have some substitutions, and we will. We'll have 4 of them, it appears. And whenever we cease play, they'll come in.
Colin Vogel looming in that mix, one of the most lethal offensive weapons as we've seen time and time again this season for the Lions. Could be a spark they need.
Ruiz takes a tumble there, no call by the referees. He'll have to jump back onto his feet quickly. Tigers pressing their way through, tackled by Ruiz. He steals the ball away, and there will be no call by the referee. Did get a touch on that ball, so maybe not the prettiest of tackles, but certainly clean in the books. Rojas was measuring that one. Now that roll will be passed to Castro. Now it's back to Sebastian. Looks like Jason Asin might be getting loose down on the sideline. And here come the subs. Looks like Brady Puckett, along with Vogel, coming into this game. Josiah Tillett coming out, as well as Sewanee. James Cooper is in. We'll have all these substitutions here momentarily. Just calling it how we can see it at the moment. Vogel quickly getting some action. Huge cross. Cooper will watch that one. And a header there. It looks like Jackson Shirley also has come into the game. On the right wing, Eberhard wrestling for it, trying to stop Sewanee. It rolls out, though, and it'll be a goal kick. Good effort by the Tigers, but it does not find its way back into play. Ruiz, Vogel. Unable to keep it in. Vogel's going to use the rundown ramp up on top of the hill. Had a lot of speed there. So Cooper's in for Tillett, Puckett in for Castro, Vogel in for Pescaru. Header, and that'll roll out.
Looks like number 12, Will Hoggett, a little bit frustrated that opportunity. Not too much formulated there. Went for the header redirect, but not much brewing.
So Colin Sheeler will set this up for a goal kick. Good job by Jason Oseen to fly into the air. Oseen in for Ruiz and Shirley in for El Sewanee. That'll complete our substitution list. Now the Tigers a breakaway on the left side. Now they try to pass it through the middle. Nobody's home except Oseen, who clears it. It'll be a throw in for Sewanee, however.
That one almost came and hit us in the press box up here.
if there's one thing we know about Jason Oseen, he's not afraid to boot a ball.
Set piece master.
No kidding. Sewanee goes for the low throw in, and there's still danger afoot. A good job by Shirley to get head on it. Sebastian Rojas tries to steal it away, but it will roll out.
Subs coming in for Sewanee about 20 minutes into this half, 25 minutes remaining. Lions getting shut out this half, 1-0, but looking to reverse their hopes a little bit.
Also got a sub in for the Lions. Mattis is going to come out. Cash is in. Throw in, and it'll be quickly received by Nowak. And Colin Sheeler takes himself to the turf while collecting that one. Grant, what do you think the Lions can do to kind of turn it around here? You just said they're being shut out in this half, and they've had opportunities, and they might have one right here, as Oseen is finding it. We know Jason is powerful in the box. He takes a shot, and it's just wide. But just chances like that, maybe a little bit too aggressive, maybe a little ill-timed, just what do you think needs to change on the offensive end? Because it's not like they're getting completely shut down on that front.
I think a lot of their failed offensive attacks have been due to rushing. You got to be able to take your time, give yourself some time of possession on the offensive end, take some short passes. That's what Sewanee's excelled at. It's taking short passes, giving themselves great opportunities to kind of wear out the Lions' defense as well.
Eberhardt to the turf. Puckett wrestling for that one, and yeah, can't imagine that Puckett will get away with that one right there. Too tough of a tackle. I mean, Brady throws up hands saying, okay, you're going to call that one?
That call, not too surprising. It looked like a legitimate push.
Yeah.
So, good call by the refs.
So Piedmont having to play quickly to their heels as the Tigers look for another offensive push. Eberhardt as well as Cash, it appears on that one. Now Colin Vogel. Vogel has to steal this one away. He's right near the line, still wrestling for it, and the ball will roll out, and it'll be a goal kick. That was an excellent job by Colin Vogel. He really suckered the Tigers into that one. Just they were trying to win that ball away, and Vogel said, okay, you want to get a touch on that one? I just won't touch it back. It's just going to roll out.
Basketball players do that a lot, too. They'll try to knock it off a person's leg on an inbound, so similar move in similar sports.
Cooper over to Nowak. Back to Cooper. Cooper's going to have to keep it in. Or no, he's going to let it go. Didn't see you got the final touch on that one. It was the Tigers. So now Cooper throws it in. He's intended for Puckett. Puckett tried to race to that one, but it'll be a high kick. Trying to go backwards. Oseen takes a tumble there. It sounded like maybe the two players' shin guards or their cleat and the shin guard collided there. It was a loud clack when Oseen leapt into the air. Now Puckett racing for it. Van Hoove is going to go out and put a touch on that one. Eberhardt leaps into the air and is put to the ground.
Looked like Puckett hesitated a little bit too much there. Not sure if he wouldn't have been able to get in the ball before the Sewanee goalie would have, but out of sight, out of mind.
Good set piece possibly brewing for the Lions. Oseen back to kick it. Here it comes. It's high and it's headed by the Tigers. It'll be cleared. Now Cooper trying his best to put it back into the box and open up another scoring opportunity for the Lions. Nowak is going to be the recipient of his pass, and Nowak tries to perhaps do a curved cross to Puckett, but it will be more straight than anything and find Van Hoove.
big
Huge boot.
My goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
Colin Sheeler's over. He's going to collect this one. Oh, goodness.
Why don't you return the favor, Colin? Come on, do it to him.
Van Hoove was taking out maybe some frustration on that one.
There it is.
Sheeler doing his best to replicate it. Maybe not as glorious, but
About 20, 25 feet behind, maybe. He'll get there. He's not fully warmed up yet.
so the Tigers are going to take a throw in right at midfield, and substitutions are going to happen for the Lions. Nowak is out. Grant is in. And it looks like
Is that Anthony Bonilla there coming
Rojas is coming out, and Bonilla will come in, just as you said, Grant. So a new wingman on the side for the Lions as the Tigers breach the defense. And it will be taken away by Jason Asin. Some pass juggling in the middle for the Tigers as they try to disrupt the Lion defense. I don't think that's going to happen, though. They have a pretty sturdy one back there. They've got Berlin, Grant, and Cash back. Asin also plays a pivotal role in that. Cooper and Shirley racing on this one as well. This gets past Cash now. Shot on goal, and it is high.
Resounding sigh from the crowd going, ooh, because that was about as close as it can get. Sheeler had to fully extend to try to even see if he could touch that.
It was a very excellent sequence by Sewanee. Just could not find the punctuation mark to it. Maybe there was punctuation instead of a exclamation point. It was more of an ellipsis. Grant racing back towards the box. He's going to cover it here. Going to try to make sure that it rolls out. And it will. Sewanee faithful is not happy with anything the refs are calling today, even though they're up by 2.
Definitely, they've been a little bit mad at the refs, which, you know, that's a fan's job in a way. Fans will always find something wrong with the ref, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of the game.
Whistle by the official in the middle. Not sure what for. I think they're just going to deliver it back to Sheeler. More substitutions will be coming pretty soon for the Lions. Coach Stevens really just trying to get a lot of people playing time, just make sure everybody is going to be fresh for competition on Tuesday. Stolen away. Now the Tigers will back pass. Cooper watching that one. And now Vogel is going to take the ball, but unfortunately he's unable to keep it in front of him, at least in play, and will roll out and be a throw-in for Sewanee. Cash able to win the tackle. Bonilla trying to keep that in. He got a good touch on that one, but perhaps just a little bit too much velocity and spin on that ball. This one way back, and I believe offsides call, maybe. Didn't hear a whistle. But it will be a kick from the goalie spot for Colin Sheeler. So maybe no harm, no foul.
Looks like Stokes McConnell had to backpedal a little bit. He almost fell down. He had to get there quick. Just couldn't do it in time. And now with about 16 minutes left in this half, the Lions aren't in desperation mode yet, but you got to have some sort of sense of urgency since you're down 4-2.
Most definitely. And James Cooper has come out, and tough tackle. Cash is going to have to recover quickly, though. He gets a touch on that one. Now Grant looking to sweep it away. So Cooper comes out, and Daniel Navarro's in. And got some personal connection with Daniel Navarro. We went to the same high school down in Lamar County. So unintentionally, we both found our way to Piedmont.
I didn't know you went to Lamar County, Eric.
Lamar County High School, class of 2020, the COVID class.
I played some basketball against them.
And you probably diced us up, Grant.
We're 1-1. We're 1-1.
Mania's moving in on it. Navarro at the line. We'll watch it get past him, and the Tigers will take it into their own defense where they can better secure the ball. Cash, good job to play it off a knee. Leaping into the air, looks like Shirley it was, and Jackson trying to push his way through and steal the ball away from Sewanee, but they're executing a couple passes. Boris Bosik also in the game, and a good job to block that one by Shirley. Another shot, and it finds the corner of the net. Wow. That ball was tucked perfectly into the 90-degree angle at the top half and wrapped itself in the corner of the net. My goodness, sometimes it's just not your day. And it might be that situation for Piedmont, as the score is now 5-2.
That's exactly where you want to put it. The ball even nestled in that top corner. Colin Sheeler, he's been playing pretty well. The 2 goals he's given up haven't exactly been on him. He's been very close to them. They've just been placed perfectly.
No, not sure if Colin was going to be able to get that one. Bobby Wood might have had a shot just for the sheer coincidence that he's got that 6'3" frame on himself. Sheeler a little bit lacking in the height department compared to his goalie counterpart on the bench, so just unable to make that. He did try, he outstretched as much as he could, but unfortunately just unable to get a touch on that one. And 5-2. This was the score, the final score from yesterday's game versus Berea, but in that game, Piedmont was on the 5-2 side. This one's chipped right over the head of Sheeler. Maybe a little bit of a lapse there. He came all the way out of the net. On that one was Belen. He was trying to defend it, and Sheeler was well out of position.
You got to think, Eric, that might be the nail in the coffin for Piedmont. Sadly, they really did fight with those 2 goals in the middle of that first half. They just had a couple tiny lapses and a couple tiny defensive mistakes that really made this game tough.
Exactly correct. Just a couple of just not able to get there on the offensive side. And, of course, you don't ever want to downplay a loss. You don't ever want to say, well, we weren't trying in that affair, because that's not the situation today. Every player who has set foot on the pitch today has been trying, but you also have to understand with this strategy that Coach Stevens is really just trying to play for the games ahead. They understand that they're going to have a competition, a real test against LaGrange coming up on Tuesday. So Davis Knight not starting at all today. He's gotten a full day of rest. He was never going to start, never was going to play any minutes. Really goes to show that there are more important games ahead. Puckett tries to leap up into the air and does a barrel roll. Gets right back on his feet quite quickly. Flexing the agility there a little bit. Sheeler makes the grab right on the outside edge of the box.
You mentioned Davis Knight not playing today. He'll probably playing that game against LaGrange. That'll be a homecoming game for him. Davis went to LaGrange High School. Maybe looking to impress some of his family who will most likely be at that game.
Maybe trying to sting his hometown college. Of course, he didn't go there. He came up here. And we're very thankful he decided to go the Lion route. And Sheeler collects that one.
And he's been performing to his best ability so far this season.
Yeah, and after his performance yesterday in the conference opener for Piedmont, I would be hard-pressed to say that he's not on his way to perhaps another CCS Rookie of the Week.
I would fully agree with you, Eric.
Tigers pushing their way towards the net once more. A lot of action happening, a lot of defensiveness there, and the Tigers get a shot off on goal, but Sheeler collects it. Faithful for Sewanee, still belly aching about being up 6-2 and not getting a call favorably from the referee.
12 minutes left, as I mentioned in that first half. Average length of a Pink Floyd song. Sewanee still being aggressive.
Sheeler well out of goal there, but a good job by his defense to go and back him up. It was Cash playing the role of goalie.
And that one comes to get us in the practice box.
Man, we almost got that one. Reed, our cameraman, was outstretching the hands, seeing if he could get some action on it.
He said, I got it. That's me. I am surprised, though, that Sewanee is not just taking down the seconds here. They're still foot on the gas.
They are relentless, that is for sure.
They're on cruise control right now.
In the corner and getting that ball free. Tanner Beam's in the game. He executes past Bonilla. Now Bonilla trying to find Brady Puckett. Brady Puckett does get a touch on that one. It's a little bit mixed up with him and the defender. Now Puckett looks to go on a run. Brady Puckett trying to get it to Bonilla, but the ball is going to be intercepted. Now Daniel Navarro. Navarro to Puckett. Back to Daniel. Daniel, tough tackle there, and I don't think he's going to be able to get away with that one.
Lions here, you know you probably won't win this game, but you're going to look for some confidence to lead into that game on Tuesday because you're going to need that. It's going to be a tough contest. You're going to want to be clicking, even with a different group of players on this pitch. You want to be able to make sure that you can execute your game plan.
And something you love to see is that every single regular starter for Piedmont has gotten at least some playing time today. They have not been just getting iced on the bench. They have not just been not relaxing, but maybe that rest versus rust conversation. Everybody apart from Davis Knight, because they don't want to risk him possibly getting a suspension for one game with him sitting at 3 yellows, as Navarro tries to put one towards the left side part of the post, but it just misses. But as I was saying, you don't want to see that. There's going to be some more substitutions here, but everybody has gotten a chance to play. And nobody, to this point, has gotten a yellow card. So everyone, it will be all hands on deck. And I believe, not looking at the totals at this moment, but I would assume there isn't really anybody close to possibly getting a card.
And that's one of the positives that Piedmont can take away from this game. They've had a couple. They've had mostly negatives, of course, but there have been a couple positives. They've shown that they can click offensively with a different group of players. Just not able to keep it consistent.
And they were able to, and one might say that, look, they might have blindsided Sewanee, but the way I would look at it is they were able to capitalize. Maybe Sewanee was still reeling from that goal by Puckett, and they were able to really jump all over him. Maybe they were still, especially the goalkeeper in Van Hoo, was still thinking about maybe the one that got away, and he got a little too aggressive with Ricardo Ruiz in the box, and that led to the PK. So I see it as just capitalizing and being the ultimate opportunist in those situations.
Definitely, and Sewanee's been able to stay poised defensively this second half. They've really amped up the aggression on trying to get takeaways, and like they did that beginning of the first half, able to put some pressure on the Lions defense.
Nathan Jacombe's in. Full substitutions. Jacombe in for Belen. Tillett in for Navarro, or rather, Navarro has exited the game. Tillett has come in his spot. And Ricardo Ruiz in for Jason Asin. So that's our full substitutions. I would assume those might be the last you see today.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if any others would come in as...
Right. Maybe the only substitution I can really otherwise see is maybe Beam coming out. Tanner kind of snuck in under the radar, but he's been getting some minutes here today. That's really the only other substitution I could maybe see happening.
I would agree with you.
Van Hoove rolling it over to his defender over there. Beam still being aggressive, trying to steal that ball away. Tigers passing between each other. Tillett on that one, and so is Grant. And now Bonilla getting into the mix, measuring here. And Sewanee just content to pass in between each other and play the game of keep away. Now they try for an attack. It's in the corner. Grant on this one, and now Grant's going to steal it away and try to whisk it away to the other side. It'll be a throw in for Piedmont. Tanner Beam trying to get a touch or two on that one. He does.
Six minutes now. It seems like Sewanee's trying to kind of hold on to the ball, and
it does really feel like the Tigers are winding down. Of course, they're still going to try to score, but definitely if they ever get challenged in the box or anything of that nature, they're just going to go ahead and pass it back and just play amongst themselves.
Play conservative, definitely.
Yeah. Deep into the corner here, losing a little bit of sideline. And Jacome will put a big boot on that one. This one way up into the air. Bonilla settling under it. Gets a touch, but unfortunately gets it right back into the Tiger defense. Now Van Hoove is going to get some action.
A lot of subs lining up for Sewanee here, kind of bringing in the garbage time players, able to get their other players a rest.
Good job by Bosick to execute a clean slide tackle there.
Sewanee's starters and some of the other subs they've had have played a great game today, able to score 6 goals on this Lions squad. Resounding applause from the Sewanee faithful.
Yeah. It'll be a throw in for the Tigers. There, he's motioning. He's saying, all right, back up a little bit. This one's going to be long. Maybe not the longest, but finds its way about halfway through. Bosick tried to spin and tackle that one. Down to the ground goes Beam, and that'll be a goal kick for Piedmont.
I mentioned when we came out of the break, Eric, at halftime that the Lions, the lights were out the start of this game, and they started to flicker. Then they were on. This second half, it almost looks like they haven't paid their electric bill because they've seen a bit out of sync ever since they scored those 2 goals and went into the break. I think Sewanee's halftime speech might have been inspirational. They've just been coming out of the gate aggressive.
Yeah, the Lions, of course, just trying to adapt and just maybe find a way to win with the plug-and-play pieces. This has not been the static team all game long. There have been multiple interchangeable parts. People have moved in, people have moved out, people have stayed in. And it seems like every 10 minutes or maybe every 8 minutes, depending on the increment of time, there has been nearly a completely new team on the field.
I think that's a good learning experience for Piedmont. You can kind of find out which lineups and which strategies work and which don't work.
Ruiz tries to chip it into the box to see if anybody was going to be able to find it, but unfortunately nobody's there. Bonilla chasing this one down. Jacome, a tough hit there. Josiah Tillett settling under it. He's got the height advantage there, and he takes advantage of the height. Grant to Beam. Beam keeping it in front of him here. Goes to Cash. Cash over to Bosick. Boris gets it to Ricardo Ruiz. Ruiz down the line. He's trying to find a runner. He is going to watch it go just in. It's still in. Puckett goes for a shot, and he finds the net. Absolute beautiful execution. Vertulo to Puckett, and it is 6-3. What a great game for Brady Puckett, scoring his second goal of the day. Doesn't get the starting time as a senior, but today he has been the scoring star for the Lions.
And coach is going to love that. Vertulo, he tracked that ball down. He was sprinting the entire way, about from midfield, able to catch it. And like I was saying, you're going to put this game behind you if you're the Lions, but you're going to take your positives with you. And that's another one, is that, even if you are down, you can still play. You're not dejected enough to where you just kind of shut down as an offense. Because you got 2 minutes to play, but the game's not over.
Maybe the Lions trying to rally here and give the Tigers something to think about on the bus ride home, saying, okay, we had the lead. What did we do to give them energy?
Game's never over until the buzzer sounds.
How did we slip up? Because they came sneaking back a little bit. Obviously, the deficit still insurmountable, it seems. But certainly gives the other team something to think about. The Tigers will listen to a whistle blow, and I think that is going to be a foul on them.
Final moments here, getting almost to a minute left. 6-3 our score. Sewanee up 3-1 this half, so a very similar scoreline as to the first half. Lions just lagging behind 1 goal.
Bosick's going to line up for a cross. Maybe the Lions trying to do something special here. Cash trying to keep it in the box, and it will be furiously cleared. Oh, goodness. Well, that looked like it was going farther than it actually did. Cash wasting no time, gets it to Vertulo. Whistle there, and another player down on the turf. And a yellow card is being presented. Looks like James, no. Trying to get an eye on that one. Can't see the numbers just yet. It will be James Cash, so that's quite unfortunate. James Cash getting a yellow card in the final moments of this game. And Cash sometimes is a starter on the team that the Lions will go to battle with. So need to possibly just be careful on those totals come Tuesday. Jacome over to Cash. Cash over to Ruiz, who back passes to Nathan. Jacome trying to wrestle for this one and take it away. And he trying to get it on the right side. And there, waiting is Bonilla. Now up the middle, it's Ruiz. Ruiz tries to cross it over to Vertulo. Back towards the middle of the crest. And as the final 10 seconds wind down, the Lions are going to fall to the Sewanee Tigers by a final score of 63. There it is. They score a goal in the final couple minutes. Good job by Brady Puckett to stay strong through that and execute all the way through. But as we said multiple times, Grant, this is not the game we were worried about today.
No, you worried about that game Tuesday. The game plan today was to worry about the game Tuesday. And just one of those games. I feel like as an athlete, games at 12 o'clock can seem a bit weird. And you have runs in those type of games. Piedmont had those 2 goals early. Those games feel like almost a blip in time, because you normally, as an athlete, especially the soccer team, you'll practice at about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but 12 o'clock, throws off your schedule.
Maybe certainly just trying to, a little bit of difficulty shaking the cobwebs, perhaps. So, final score from the WAC, 6-3. The Tigers take a victory over the Lions. So the Lions go 1-1 this weekend, but they are 1-0 in the conference. That's really all we care about. Goals, 2 of them by Brady Puckett and James Cash collecting his first goal of the season off a PK. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us this now afternoon. For Grant Prather, our cameraman, Mr. Reed, and as well as our crew over there, led by Danielle Percival. This is Eric Evanson signing off from the Walker Athletic Complex in Demorest, Georgia. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and go Lions.